Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, get yourself comfy and listen to GabNet's Late Night Lady, 30-Minute Marjorie.
I'm going to bed. I've had a hard week. I think it's lacking nookie. So I'm tired.
That's my wife, by the way. If you just joined us, I'm Alex Bennett. This is the Ramble. It goes till midnight.
I think we should take bets.
What
time I'm going to fall asleep.
On tonight's show?
Yeah, all bets.
I'm saying you'll make it through the first half hour.
I'm usually good for half an hour. It's after the half an hour that...
Last week, before the half hour was over, you were falling asleep while I was talking to you.
That's not true.
That's true.
That's not true.
It's true.
How could I talk back to you if I'm asleep?
30-Minute Marjorie is not an official program on the Great American Broadcast Network, a tune-in partner. The length of Marjorie's appearance will vary on each and every Friday night, depending on how tired she is.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of The Ramble, heard here and seen here on GabNet, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GabNet laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett /live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
Reasons why you tune into GabNet. Here's reason number 9. Great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. Even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, no more than 2 weeks working apart.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GabNet. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to gabnet.net for more. GabNet. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's Alex Bennett. It is the Ramble, and of course, as you know, we go on until what is it?
Forever.
Midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, all righty. Okay, let me just turn my microphone up just a little bit. What are you doing there? What is that?
Chapstick. It's Blistex.
Huh?
Blistex.
Okay. What were you running out of the room for?
Because I usually keep one here, and it wasn't here.
Oh, I see. So you didn't have your Bliss Tex.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Anyway, that's her. Yeah.
It's Friday, but I took a day off. It was so nice.
Because you had to go to the doctor.
I had a doctor's appointment, my annual.
Mm-hmm. Your manual?
My manual.
Isn't it cute? I had mine earlier this week.
I know.
And it came out terrible.
What do you mean it came out terrible? Here we go. We're going to hear the whole report.
No, it came out bad. Yeah.
Oh, Alex, it's just stop it.
Actually, all my heart stuff, all the cholesterol and everything's perfect. It's great.
Help me.
It was the prostate number.
Please call in early tonight.
That was bad.
This is really.
It wasn't good.
Please, I need your help.
Actually, according to the urologist, it wasn't bad, but I think of it that way.
He still has about another 6 months.
No, you have no pity for me.
Why should I? When I don't know what's real and what's not real.
Huh? I'd feel sorry for your pussy if you were having pussy problems.
So I should feel sorry for your dick?
You should feel sorry for my prostate, my poor little prostate.
Poor little prostate. Let me see the little prostate.
He doesn't think I have cancer yet.
But I do.
But it went up. It went up a decent, a good amount.
Oh God! Please call in tonight, everybody.
No, they're going to call in and then they're going to talk with me about my prostate.
And I'll be asleep by then.
It's going to be a good show tonight, folks.
And I'm going to sleep early. I don't want to hear this. The ailments.
You don't care.
I do care, but it's every minute, non-stop.
You're
like Trump. You're like Trump in the medical. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had a problem today.
Which one?
This is the one we can discuss, and you won't be mad at it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm talking with the doctor.
No, we're back to medical.
And I said, how's your business being affected by the current state of politics and whatever? And he said, well, I voted for Trump. I'm a Trump guy.
He said that?
Yeah.
Well, how do you like him now?
Well, I happen to like him.
No. How the doctor liked Trump now?
No, I didn't ask him that. I didn't. What I told him was, I said I got new insurance. I got insurance from SAG, and then the Screen Actors Guild. And then he said, and then we got into the thing about Trump, and he said, but of course you're with the Screen Actors Guild, and they hate Trump.
No shit.
You know, and I just didn't want to get into it with him because, you know, this man is holding his prostate in his hands.
Holding your prostate.
Yeah, and I just said to him, I said, you know, I didn't say anything about it. But I had that last night. We were talking about it last night. If you met up with because we have basically nothing but guys calling the program, said, if you met up with a woman and she was a slam dunk to get it was a slam dunk to get laid, and you found out she voted for Trump, what would you do?
He said that?
No, I said.
Oh, you said it.
I said to the
doctor,
to the panel.
Oh, the panel.
Pay attention.
Well, I didn't hear your show last night.
No, well, I was just explaining it to you, but you were off in La La Land somewhere and couldn't hear me.
Don't yell.
So anyway, no. And then today I had this conundrum. Like, he's my doctor, and he happens to be. I've had a hard time finding a urologist I liked, and this guy, you know, as much as I fear all urologists, when I'm with him, I feel good. Okay, I don't feel fear.
Does he use his finger or that machine that the other one
had? He doesn't use his finger. I think he hates putting fingers up people's asses. He puts he gave me a sonogram of my.
But that's the other one that did that too, didn't he?
No.
The other one that you liked, that didn't take credit cards.
This is the guy I'm talking about.
Oh, you were talking about changing.
No. This is the urologist I have now. I've been through.
And he uses,
3 or 4 urologists.
And he uses that little thing.
Well, he uses the sonogram.
No finger for him.
Yeah, he shoves this tool up my ass, and he can really see the prostate. So he knows really whether he sees anything. He says, I don't see anything there. You know, I'll tell the audience later what he saw.
Please.
But
spare me.
I should have had him send me the picture of it so I could.
It's
By the way,
10-10.
he showed me the cyst in my kidneys.
Oh, yeah?
Today. Yeah, he took a sonogram. He did my renal today. I have a cyst a big cyst in one of my kidneys. The other one I have a tiny.
Is that the
cyst.
one where the stone was?
No. Well, I mean, the stone was somewhere there,
but in that same kidney.
Yeah. But he said his cysts are nothing but fluid sacs, and he said this is a big fatty one, and it probably wouldn't even burst. But if
But they could
but if
lance
it
it.
burst,
They
no,
could-
no, they don't.
No, just
He
let
said
it-
if it burst, you wouldn't have any problems. He says just pure body liquid, So
Us.
he said otherwise your renal system looks great, your bladder looks
Here we go.
terrific. I said I was beginning to think like I was in a beauty contest. Do I have a beautiful bladder, or do I have a beautiful? Is that a bladder?
And you're going to live till tomorrow. At
And I
least.
said, and it's also half full because he didn't ask for. Do you know I got every time I go out and I get my urology, I usually take a pee test, right? And with him, I took one once, and every time for the last 10 years, 15 years, as long as you've known me, I've had blood in my urine.
Right.
A little minute amount of blood.
I know because he tells me all the time.
No, but I've always had it. So I have to warn doctors before they have me pee in the glass.
Hey, I
look,
got blood in my...
when you put the little thing in the dipstick and you see blood, don't panic because
It's always there.
Somewhere there's a little bit of blood leaching. It could be from the prostate, it could be from the kidneys, whatever. Anyway, so the first time I went to this guy, I peed in the glass, and he checked it out, and I didn't have any blood in my urine.
Yeah.
And then the second time I went to him, I had blood in my urine. He didn't check me today, but I looked at my workup from the lab that I got, where I got the bad news about the PSA. The what are you doing?
Huh? I'm going to an early death.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I hope so. Anyway, no. What I was going to say was that I got my urology back as well in the Dr. Kinnish's report, and there was no blood this time. So that's starting to worry me. Why don't I have blood in my urine anymore?
Here we go again.
So anyway, yeah. I just look. I live with the fear every day that I'm trying to figure out what is it that's going to get me.
I look forward to it. Actually, 2023 is getting nicer and nicer every day.
Is that your
January 2023?
Yeah.
I forgot the exact date, but I'll settle for January.
No, here's what it was. Larry Bubbles Brown had this site you could go to. I don't even know
Answer
where
a
it
few
is.
questions.
You answer a few questions, and then it tells you when you're going to die.
The date, the exact date.
The exact date you're going to die. So now she's convinced she's going to die in 2023.
No, I didn't say that. Not convinced I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Well, of course you're going to die.
No, but it's going to be. I'm going to do it.
Or you're going to do it.
Yeah, that's how I know that's the date.
Oh, you're not expecting me to join
No,
you
no,
in
no,
this,
no, no,
in this
no, no,
endeavor.
no. I'm going to leave you with all this stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you have to deal with it.
2023. I'm going
5
to
years.
be 83 then. I'm going to be too old to do much of anything. So could you do it earlier?
No,
Oh, okay.
January 2023.
Yeah.
I figure this planet's going to explode anyway.
Why do you think the planet's going to explode?
Well, it's going to hell. I mean, I think human beings are about to be extinct, and they should be. We've caused so much damage to this planet,
Well, it's
and it's going to take several, centuries to heal.
it's certainly not beautiful out there.
It's terrible.
Now you wrote something, and I didn't know that this was going on. Is the Senate is thinking of?
Senate, it's already in their proposal to cut Medicare, Social Security, and what's the other one? Medicare.
Medicaid.
No, it's
There's
Medicare.
Medicaid, Medicare, and
Social Security.
Now, whose plan is this?
This is Paul Ryan's, and this is to make up for the big $1 trillion deficit from that great tax bill.
Oh, so
they have to put money back somewhere.
So we're going to kill old people to give younger people more money.
Yeah,
I see.
We always say, give them a suicide vest.
See,
they have nothing to live for.
Well, no. What I was saying was,
I would join it.
You don't fuck with old people.
They have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose. They're the ones who can strap a bomb vest
and
themselves.
walk into the Senate chamber.
You get what we do is we find everybody who's got they're terminally ill.
Hey, I'll volunteer because it'll probably be.
Oh, but now
what?
You know what's going to happen now? The Secret Service will be dropping by here
after
because of your suggestion, your little suggestion.
I think it's a great idea. Senior citizens have nothing to lose.
Well,
go fuck with their Social Security and watch what happens.
You know what's really
They're
funny
a big voting
You
bloc.
know what's very funny about Paul Ryan? I believe he went to school courtesy of Social Security.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. So, I mean, why they want to go after old people like this?
Because it's an easy target.
It's the only, for a lot of people,
It's it.
it's their only lifeline.
I mean, that's going to be ours as soon as I leave this job.
Well, no, we do have
I'm not talking about, I'm just saying income that's coming in.
Oh, yeah, our
Yeah.
income will be
Yeah,
just
that's just Social
yeah,
Security.
but we do have
and
other
SAG.
money to keep us going.
We'll be fine, but that's not the issue. That's not what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Some people, that's it for them.
Yeah, yeah, and considering the rent we're paying, boy, that goes on forever too.
5 years.
It is 5 years.
Yeah, we're
isn't
into
it?
the 5th year.
Well, as of April, it's 5 years, but officially, legally, it's August. Because April was when we paid our last payment to the guy who was renting us the place because he couldn't do what he was doing. And August was when
Our lease was up.
our lease was literally up.
Yeah, and by the way, it was up after his lease was up.
And every day I look at my mail and I'm going, I'm looking for the lawyer's name on a note. Just, hey, today's the day, right?
Today's
we get
it.
some more. Nothing.
Nothing.
The
nada.
last time we went to court on this thing where they made their arguments
Was in January.
No, it was in February. Remember January
Oh, right,
when...
and then they said in March they'll have a decision.
well, no,
She'll read the reports.
She'll read the reports, and then she asked for more reports, and now here we are.
And here we are.
And the judge hasn't read shit,
Yeah.
So, what are you doing?
I'm just putting the toilet paper under this third leg.
Explain that, will you?
No,
please?
it's your thing.
It's not toilet paper.
Sure looks like
It's
it.
towels. It's paper towels.
You still
Well,
wipe your ass
I
with
use it to buffer because if I have these microphone stands sitting on the table,
It rattles.
the vibration. There's some vibration in here, and well, listen. If I do this, watch. I'll take mine off. Well, maybe you don't hear it. I guess you don't. Well, anyway, I will. I'm gonna put this back the way it was.
It's 10:18.
Stop it.
I'm just
Stop it.
giving an
Stop
update.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
Do you believe what I have to live with?
What do you mean? I'm a delight.
Listen to Mr. Grumpy.
Look,
I'm a delight.
Look. I do my chores around the house.
Yes, you do.
I empty the dishwasher many
you make
times.
the bed.
And I make the bed every day. What else do I do? I make most dinners.
No, you make your meat dinner, and I might join you. It's you make most dinners for you, but I don't necessarily eat those dinners with you.
Because why?
It's all meat.
Well, it's not tonight. It was chicken.
Well, I had a big lunch today.
And I could make some fish.
I'll make the fish.
What do you mean you'll make the fish? You act like I can't cook.
No, but I'm good at fish.
Like I'm developing right now a chicken dish. I'm developing it. Next, today I got how long it takes to make the actual the chicken. It's not breast. It's slices, and then I put them in flour, and then I saw how long it took to cook them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out some kind of sauce to put in there, like put wine or something like that in with the chicken, and then I will have a lovely chicken dish for you. What do you mean?
I'm looking forward to it.
You don't think I can do it?
I didn't say you can't do it. Make dark meat for me.
No, I make breasts. These are breasts I'm working on. It's a breast thing.
I look forward to it with
Yes.
delight.
But because there is, you don't cook dark meat in the same way you cook a breast. You can't, like I do the stovetop. I do, and then I'm gonna add a baking element to it, and
Just surprise me. I don't want to hear the detail.
but I'm trying to figure out. My next step is how to add wine into it.
It's called taking the top of the pot off, opening the bottle of wine, and pouring it into it.
But there's already oil in there.
So you add it.
Oh, okay. And so I'm trying that.
And when the oil settles at the top, you skin it off.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to figure some way to put prosciutto or bacon on there. Yeah, it's good. What do you mean? What
I'm
do you-
not saying
yeah,
anything.
look
I
at
said,
you.
I said I'm looking forward to
I'm
it.
cooking. Somebody's got to replace Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
We've been watching his shows. We watched the one on
Vietnam,
which with Barack Obama, and I think he was president at the time.
No,
yes, he was.
no, because he went around there after he left.
No, he had the Secret Service in full force.
He has the Secret Service for the rest of
He
his
had
life.
the presidential limousine was going through. I think that thing was filmed just as he was leaving
Well,
office.
you'll check.
But anyway, they sat down. They had some food together
Local food
in Saigon. It
Yeah.
was a great show. He did one on Sicily, in which he doesn't always wax poetic about the place he's at. He keeps talking about how depressed he is because the food sucks.
And then he went and killed himself.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. But he goes everywhere. I mean, the Himalayas and wherever.
I
And
want to see the one on the Bronx.
they have on the Bronx. There's one on New Jersey. But the thing is that what he did, he had the best job you could possibly have.
Oh my God, it's ideal.
I mean, I said, remember,
All expenses paid. I'm sure he stayed in top places.
you remember this guy, remember?
What guy?
This guy here, listen.
Hi, I'm Robin Leach with those champagne wishes and caviar dreams, and you're listening to the incredible, the memorable, the wonderful, the one and only Alex Bennett.
Ah, there we go.
Now, you remember Robin Leach?
Yeah.
I told Robin when I interviewed him, when he was actually had available to do that, and I said, you got the best job in the world. I said, you just go all around the world to these weird places.
His was hotels.
No, his was lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Right, but I mean, it wasn't just food. It was the whole thing.
It was hotels. It was the food. It was the hotels.
Right.
It was the luxury of the ski
He
lodge.
stayed at good places. Let's put it that way.
And I said, you created the best. He says, of course. He says, you found me out. That's my whole thing. And this is what it was about Bourdain, is that he created the way to do travelogues, which was something I would love to have spent my life doing, and eating. He goes, I haven't been to Uruguay. Let's go to Uruguay. I haven't been to Bolivia. Let's go to Bolivia. I haven't been to the Sudan. Let's go to the Sudan.
But he picks also like out of the way places, like a lot of street vendors, people that are making food on the street.
It's like San Francisco wasn't out of the way place.
No, but Vietnam, I mean, he was eating right on the street.
Oh yeah,
stuff they're making right there.
But in Sicily, this is how bad things got. He actually went to one place that served horse.
Oh, Jesus.
And they spiced it up and everything.
Did they bring it out whole and then slice it?
No. It was sliced and it was done on like a grill outdoors.
So did he get a leg with a hoof?
No, he got like a flank or something like that. And he ate it, and the guy said, how is it? And he says, not bad. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Horse, a lot of places in the world.
I'm sure over the life of us, we've all eaten it, but just haven't.
I've never eaten horse.
I'm saying we probably have, but didn't know it.
You know what I ate once and I didn't know I was eating it? What was it?
Sounds like.
No, this was when I was in the
Army.
Every day when I was in doing the Olympics in Lillehammer. Right next door there was a hamburger joint. And so I would run over during the breaks and get us hamburgers. And we ate about 5 of these hamburgers a day. They were delicious. And then somebody told me they were like...
horse meat.
Like...
dog.
No, moose or something like
moose
that.
Moose isn't bad. I've had moose.
No, or elk or is something that... And I went, oh, well, I ate it.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was it elk? Was it moose? Was it... It was something, but it was disgusting. It was if I said to you we're going to eat elk this tonight, you wouldn't want to eat it.
Depends on how it's prepared.
Yeah, but they said, I hear this is all we eat, or we don't have cattle here. Are you nuts? So
they still eat dogs in China and Korea.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I'm thinking.
I make one of the weirdest things you've ever eaten. I make tripe.
Oh.
I love tripe.
10:25, just
Good.
giving you an update.
I love tripe.
I know you love it. It's comfort food for you. It's the way chicken
my
soup
mother
is.
used to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
comfort food.
Yeah.
What is the worst? Not the worst.
She
but
also made tongue. I love tongue.
my mother loved tongue. I could never get into it.
Yeah.
I've eaten turtle,
You were eating turtle.
Yeah.
Well, that would be, yeah.
and it tastes like chicken. It was quite good
Well, if it tastes like chicken, why didn't you just have chicken?
because we were in a place that specialized in that.
Yeah. You know-
Driving down to Florida, and this was in Georgia.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see here. I guess that I don't know, escargot. I guess, you know, snails. Probably one of the weirdest I've ever eaten.
Well, it's a food that you have to develop a
Well,
taste for.
somebody forced me to do it.
Because it's all about the
Okay.
sauce that's in it.
I
It's
was
not
at,
the actual.
I was at dinner years ago out on the island at Jerry Wexler's home. He was the head of Atlantic Records, and they were going to serve. Oh no, this was somewhere else. That was where I first had lobster, and I'd never had lobster in my life. But no, there's this other place we went to eat dinner at some people's place, and it was snails, but they weren't serving anything else.
Wow.
Okay, so I was forced to be the good guest and eat the snails, and then I ate the snails, and they were okay.
That's the way I was with oysters. Not oysters, mussels.
Mussels, I love mussels.
Yeah, but it's a developed taste.
I
And
did-
it's all about the sauce.
Well,
Because
I
they
mean,
really have no taste, the same way with.
snails have no taste.
Right, it's the
I think
sauce.
snails were invented by a guy who wanted to impress
It's
a girl.
the sauce, the
and
same
wanted
way
to say,
with
"Look
same
at-
way with mussels.
Look at what I can eat, you know. I think it's how bullfighting was invented. Look, I'm going to go out there with this red cape, you know. But you knew that the bull would charge at the red cape; he wouldn't charge at you. So, and then the woman went, "Oh, you're wonderful, you're strong. Let's go home and fuck."
I'm going to do a rollover.
No, you're not.
It's 28 after.
Don't have me do this with my foot because my feet are killing me.
10:28.
Okay, my next big stop at the doctor's is going to be for these numb
So
feet.
start setting it up.
I know. I already have a date for the neurologist.
No, I'm talking about the.
No, it's
me
no.
coming over.
Well, sit over there while I set it up.
I'll set it up.
Yeah,
It's
set it
almost
up.
10:29 almost.
God, I don't know why I have you on this show.
I question that.
I
also.
guess it's because it makes my life a little easier since I then don't have to do any major programming. Okay, you want to come over?
I'm coming over.
Okay, she wants to come
Roll
over.
me
Here
over.
we go. All right.
These things down there.
What? Just
Well,
don't
I
worry
wanna-
about.
I don't want to.
Well, then don't.
My chair over
Well,
it.
oh boy,
Well, you got to turn around.
you're a pain in the ass. You know that?
I know.
You really are. Okay. Well, we're ready for the people to call. Let me
Like my
just
hat?
turn it on
Like
here.
my hat?
Huh?
I'm wearing your hat.
You're wearing my hat?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now we're online so that
Just
if
said
people want
Skype
to call us.
unavailable.
What?
Who is she?
I have no idea who that picture is. It says how to make free voice and video calls, and then I'll show you, folks.
There's
You got a
Ray.
picture of a woman. Who is that? She's been there
Forever.
for every day of my life, as long as I've had Skype. But anyway.
Call in.
Well,
Please, you promised me. Brian? Ray?
Don't beg.
Phil, where are you, Phil?
Oh God. You beg like I do.
I'm helping you.
Shouldn't do that. What?
I'm helping your program.
Oh, look, a lot of people are watching.
Why, are we fighting?
Tommy Yamaguchi. Oh, right, that's what it was.
What?
That's what it was. Thank you, Tom.
What?
See, my brain is going. I couldn't remember. You know what we were eating with those burgers?
What?
Reindeer.
Ah, that's supposed to be good.
Reindeer.
Yeah, I've
And,
heard-
but they were great hamburgers. But then when I found out they were reindeer, I couldn't do it anymore.
Like, is it Santa?
Well, yeah, not Santa. You know. I mean, we sing about them at Christmas time and things like that.
Rudolph.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now call in, Tom.
Okay. Anyway, our number is with Skype. It's Gabnet Live. If you're using Skype, if you're not using Skype, go over to Gabnet Live or Gabnet.net rather, Gabnet.net, and on the right-hand side of the page, at the very bottom, there's a phone number you can use, and you can call using a phone.
And Jeff, where are you?
Huh?
Where's Jeff Stein?
I don't know. We're waiting for somebody to call.
We're waiting.
Usually the first person in is Phil. And then we just shut up for the rest of the show.
Phil, where are you when we need you?
don't beg.
I'm
You do
tired.
realize there's a good minute and a half between the time we say we've gone to the phones and the time that they actually hear that we've gone to the phones.
Well, it's 2 minutes already. No one's calling in.
Well, maybe they don't like you.
Well, that could be.
You could have just completely chased them away.
I probably have.
You know, and I'm waiting for the first person to call, whoever that might be.
Whoever that might be.
Gloria,
Gloria, you
here we go. Here comes
Phil.
Phil.
Look,
Here
he
comes-
changed his picture.
No, that picture he's had for a while.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
yep,
Phil.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank God you're not wearing that "Make America Great Again" hat. Are you Are you thinking differently about our president?
I like him more every day.
Oh God.
He's just been a treat, hasn't he?
He's doing everything he promised he'd do, and he's standing up to those that don't want to make America great again.
How wasn't America great?
We were giving away.
No. That has nothing to do with great.
You know what?
Great.
What had happened was after World War II.
Okay, this is wait a minute. Somebody is calling here. That's never called before. Liz.
Tom.
Liz. Or Sandra.
Hey,
Laz
Tom.
Monaro. Are you there, Sandra? Are you there?
Hey Tom, I
But
have
hold
to
on,
do
hold on
the
a
same
second.
thing.
Hold
See?
on. Hold on. Can you hear me, Sandra? Sandra? Sandra,
I hear clicking.
are you there, Sandra? Well, I'll hang up on her.
Call back.
What the hell? You know, if somebody doesn't call
Identify
immediately, doesn't
themselves.
identify themselves immediately.
Later for them.
Yeah, no, he thinks Trump is just doing a bang up job.
Figures.
Well, you know, there was a time when other countries needed our help to not only westernize, but to help their people gain a better way of life.
Like who?
Well, like China.
Like China?
And-
China? We never helped China.
We bought their shit.
Well,
And-
that's because they made shit we wanted to buy.
Yes, but we didn't.
Because you
put
had to
big
have
tariffs on them.
you had to have your iPhone.
We didn't put big tariffs on them, and it was long before that. You know, countries in Europe after World War II, they needed our help retooling, rebuilding.
That was called.
Well,
it was a thing
it's
called. It was
time-
called Lend-Lease.
And it was a big boom. Hey, it was a big boom to the U.S.
Yeah, but
it
it's
got us
time
out of the depression.
It's time for the pendulum to swing the other way.
It swung.
God, we had almost up to 35 people listening to us, and now we're down to 31
Wow.
since Phil started yapping.
Guys, I'm going to say an
So
early good
I'm
night.
not listening anymore.
What-
I was probably good for 4.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah. Yes,
Hey.
Tom.
Hey, Tom.
I only called in because you asked me to.
Thank you. Oh, you're the best. Thank
I
you
wasn't
so
going
much.
to call in, but you asked me to.
I did.
And
Yes.
Now she's leaving. Welcome
And
to
now
my
she's
world.
Yeah.
Hey, Marjorie,
Yeah?
you grew up in the Philadelphia area, right?
Philadelphia. I went to Overbrook High. West Philly.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in South Jersey. We'll have to talk about Philadelphia sometime.
Yeah, I found it was a great city to grow up in. You know, it's like our parties in high school were Coca-Cola parties. It was like all like good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I had my aunt lived in Levittown, and I had
New
friends
York,
in
New
Cherry
York.
Hill in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's probably close to what Tom
That's-
was talking about.
They're
It's
very
right
near
over
where
the
I
bridge, yeah.
was living until I was about 13.
Yeah,
In
beautiful
Cherry Hill?
area.
Yeah.
I used to go to Washington's Crossing, Bucks County,
I did too.
Yeah.
New Hope. I
Yeah.
mean, that area that is spectacular.
Yeah, it's great.
Jessica Savage was
Was she?
died. Was a New Hope.
Really?
Oh, really?
In a car
Yeah.
crash, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the
It was
expert
an
on people.
artist
On people
colony.
dying.
Yeah. By the way,
it
somebody
was-
died. I can't remember his name
Here's
now
the people
today.
who died.
And you probably read about
Oh,
it.
he was a
that
journalist.
No, he was gay, and he created in New York when they wouldn't serve gays. He started the sip-ins. He called them.
Good night, everyone.
And
good night.
in fact, maybe I can bring up his name here. Dick Leitch is his name, I think.
I haven't heard of that
An
guy.
early force for gay rights is dead at 83. His 1966 sip-in helped pave the way for gay bars to exist legally in New York.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So I beat you to one. I beat you to one.
What's a sip-in?
It was, it was like,
like a sit-in.
Like a sit-in at a counter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
Like a lunch counter.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that he's dead. So I thought you'd want to know that. Otherwise, anybody died that we should know about in the last?
You heard about Coco, right?
Coco
the gorilla.
Oh, Coco the gorilla. Yes.
Old sign language gorilla that likes cats.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he liked cats a lot, and he ate them. No.
I heard a story, and I would assume that it's true, that Coco the gorilla did something or broke something or knocked something off a table and signed that the cat did it. So,
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's was on the
story.
I don't think so. Look who's
Coco the gorilla blames cat for damage.
Look who's joining us, Rob Alfano. Hello, Rob. How are you this evening? Wait a minute, Rob, can you hear us? Rob, can you hear us? Oh, he's having some kind of problem. Well, there goes Rob. Oh boy. Anyway, he's
probably talking to that gal that called you.
What?
He's talking to that gal that called you that didn't get through.
The
new caller 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, who knows who that is? That could have very easily been. What happens is we get some women, shall we say, who are trying to make money, who suddenly somehow call you on Skype lines. Now, this woman looks older, so it doesn't look like that was her case. But no, I've had to. Sometimes people say, I want to be a friend or I want to be, a contact. And I check them out, and it's like, it looks to be a hooker. Okay. So I don't make them that way.
Okay, here's the article. It's on Reddit. Coco the gorilla once ripped a sink out of a wall, and when her keepers confronted her about it, she blamed the kitten, signing the cat did it. And
that's got to be a phony story.
Reddit, I think, is a legitimate.
No, it isn't.
Reddit. No. What do you know?
It's called Reddit, therefore it must be real. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Reddit.com. I don't know where they lean, but why would they come up with a Coco thing? And
I don't know, because a lot of times there are these we call folk tales. These urban legends.
Well, if you believe that the Coco the gorilla can sign,
yes.
Blame the cat.
But it didn't mean that actually happened.
Yeah, plus, in addition, people have actually disputed how well Coco actually communicated through sign. There's been sort of controversy regarding that.
Okay, now here comes Rob again. Can you hear us now, Rob?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Turn down your mic just a little bit. It's a little overmodulating, but otherwise we can hear you. What?
I said I'm lucky it even works. I'm not. This new Skype is. I just don't know where all the controls are anymore.
Well, do you have?
Here we go.
Okay, but do you have? If you have a PC, you can get Skype Classic if you're bothered by the new Skype. That, however, is not being afforded most people who have Macs, though. They have to do the.
I don't even know. Is there another update on the Mac? Or I'll look.
No. Well, I think you're using a PC, right, Rob?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a new Skype update for the Mac.
Yeah.
That I haven't downloaded.
Well, I don't do it.
All right. Talking about pets that talk, I read an article about dogs and that they can actually communicate certain things. Putting their paw on your arm means they want to be petted. When they stand on their hind legs and go like this, that means they want food. So they actually do communicate with us.
Well, no, dogs. I mean, all animals that are pets use sign language and mime and feign things. Of course, dogs are very famous for one thing, and that is that if you yell at them, they start limping.
Yeah, well, I could never yell at my dog.
That's why I didn't, because that's why I like cats over dogs. Dogs do this whole limping routine. You yell at a cat and he just looks at you like, fuck you. Just fuck you. Okay, fine. One time I remember...
That's what I want to feed and groom and take care of. Somebody another person that just tells me, fuck you.
Well, we for a while there with cats and stuff, every now and then I would, like, if they did something bad, I would just pat them on the butt,
cat abuse.
Yeah, cat abuse. And I finally decided that was wrong, so I decided to just get all the cats. I had 5 of them at the time, and I gathered them all in the bedroom, sitting on the bed.
It's like the cat lady.
And I gave them a speech. And I said, we all live in the same place together, and we've got to be considerate of each other. And, you just can't be shitting anywhere you feel like shitting. You have to shit in the box where you're supposed to shit in the box, not in the bathtub. And and I said, now, let's all try and get it together. And I tried this very reasonable approach. And, of course, after it was over with, they were back to doing whatever they wanted to do. So I found...
Not one of them looked at you either.
Huh?
Not one of them looked at you either.
Oh, they were staring, actually. They were rather amused by the fact that I was giving this lecture to them.
I found, Alex, that the best thing with pets or animals is positive reinforcement. They don't understand negative reinforcement. So, you just reward them for the good things that they do. I do the same thing with employees. I'm beyond...
What, when they do something good, you throw them a fish?
Or that's wrong. I just... reward what they do right.
And how do you do that?
You know what they understand more than one word? Walk, 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 walk.
Oh, yeah, employees, yeah.
No, cats and employees.
Well, no, there was remember Gary Larson, he had The Far Side? He had one cartoon about what you say. Bad dog, Alfie, bad dog. You've been a bad, bad, bad dog, Alfie. What the dog hears. Blah, 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 Alfie. Blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
Alfie. Blah,
The Simpsons
blah,
did a thing about that.
What?
The Simpsons did a thing about that.
Yeah.
They made fun of that. Wah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
The words they understand.
Right. But, no, but I was never abusive with my pets at all. But, occasionally you would yell at them or I'd give them a little pat on the rump saying, don't do that, bad cat. And, of course, they would look at me like... They'd give me the claw, and that's why I like cats. I mean, cats, you pretty well have to earn their respect. Dogs, hey, dogs are your friend no matter what. Hey, you can beat me, you can hit me, you can abuse me. I don't care. You're my master, and I love you, and I will be loyal to you. Fuck that attitude.
It's not true.
That's like people who voted for Trump.
Dogs remember. My dog must have been abused by a fat Mexican woman, because anytime she sees a fat Mexican woman, she growls. She doesn't like them. And we found out that was the woman that adopted her, left her in a cage, didn't give her any food. They stayed in the cage. She couldn't pee or poo, and then threw her out on the freeway.
She probably came over the border the wrong time.
Probably, but that. So I can tell that's the dog reacts to that. Dog loves everybody except fat Mexican women.
Okay, so I got something to talk about here. last time we were having this discussion about like if you met a really hot woman and you were going out with her, and all of a sudden you found out that she was for Trump.
Works for me.
Would you continue the date, or would you just excuse yourself and send her on her way? And Tom, yes, Tom. I think Tom said he would kick her to the curb, right?
Other night.
Huh?
That was Wednesday.
Oh, it was Wednesday night. Well, you see how old I'm getting.
I only kick them to the curb if they smoke.
Anyway, we had that discussion. Yes, Patrick.
Just gonna say.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Is your microphone on, Patrick?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, barely.
Well, no, just don't talk, and then it will be louder and louder as he talks. I've found that to happen with Patrick's. Go ahead, Patrick. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say what Phil did. Really, the only thing that is a non-starter for me is if they smoke. Other than that, I mean, my ex, she was as liberal and as much of a Democrat as you could get, but we never discussed politics. I mean, everything else, we got along and everything was fine. So it depends on how bad you want to make your own life.
Yeah.
If you want to yapping about politics, you'll have a miserable relationship. If that's something that you can keep to the side, well, it works, and it did.
Okay, well, today I had to run over to my urologist because I got back my PSA test and it had gone up. Okay.
Well, what is it now?
3-4.
That's still pretty damn good.
I know. But you know me. Okay, I panicked. So, but
especially since it's enlarged.
But I was able to see. It's not that enlarged. I was able to see the doctor. And I went over to see him. And he, I've had trouble finding a good urologist because they're all so evil. Every one of them. I mean, I had one that was just ghastly. Every time I go over there, try to stick some pipe up my dick. And then I got another one, and it was like he was too busy having a happy fizzies party with the crew, with the team. They were all hanging out in his office, and I'm thinking, pay attention to my prostate, will you, please? I didn't like him, so I stopped going to these guys for a while. Then finally I had a problem, and I asked my doctor, my primary physician, for the name of a doctor, and he gave me the name of this guy. And I liked him. I liked him because he answers your questions, and he makes you feel good, and he doesn't let you panic, and he has a very good bedside manner. So of course I have this thing where my prostate, my PSA goes up, and I have to go see the doctor, and he does all the wonderful. He tells me all about. He says, no problem. He says you're still well within good numbers, and even if it does go up at your age. How we treat it is we don't even remove the prostate. We use hormone treatment. He said, I've taken people, put them on hormone treatment, and gotten their PSA down to 1, But
you going to become Miss Alex Bennett?
No, but he said, anyway, hormone treatments, and that he actually, for a biopsy, if we ever have to do it, and he says, I doubt if we'll ever have to do it, he said, we put you out. I give you anesthesia and anesthetize you. But anyway, so I mean, this is a good guy. And then he said to me, I said, do I have anything to worry about here? And he said, no. He said, and if there's anything to worry about, let me worry about it. He says, that's my job. I said, but no. He said, things, I looked at your prostate last time with a sonogram. It looks fine. What I think the problem may be is you have calcium deposits on your prostate, which is not a bad thing. They just happen over the years. I guess it's starting to atrophy or something. He said, but the margins of those calcium deposits could be not infected, but inflamed, and that could be causing it. He said, so next time, about 6 months from now, go get another PSA, and I want you to take 5 days worth of these anti-inflammatory pills, and then go take the test, and we'll see if that's what's causing it to rise. He said, but I'm not worried and whatever. And so I really like this guy, right? Makes me feel calm. You know me, I'm a worrier about this stuff. And then I said to him, so how's business with the new administration and everything? He says, well, I'm a Trump guy. Oh. Now, this is a guy that literally is holding my balls in his hands, okay? He, and I'm going, Well, I could say something. What I said was that I just gotten this new insurance from the Screen Actors Guild. And so he said, well, you know, the Screen Actors Guild doesn't like people like me because I like Trump. That's what he said. Okay.
He's right.
And all I could think of was I could sit here and argue with him, but I'm not going to because I found myself a decent urologist. So therefore, I became the capo at Auschwitz, who's trying to save my life.
How's his fingers?
But what I'm wondering is now that he knows that I'm with Screen Actors Guild and I might be against Trump, is he then going to do a lousy job for me, or do you think it's not going to?
You need a biopsy.
It's not going to affect him. Yes, Patrick.
You became a normal fucking person, Alex. I mean, people who put their politics before every fucking thing, it's just beyond me. I mean, people have different opinions. And you know what? If he's a professional, who gives a shit if he voted for Sanders, if he voted for Hillary, Trump, whoever? And the same with you. He's going to look at you as a patient. I mean, I've got doctors that have told me their political leanings that are different than mine. I don't give a shit. As long as you're doing your job, good enough. And
yeah, well, he didn't know.
People, they need to get a fucking life.
Yeah, yeah.
I was talking to somebody today that was talking, about a friend of his that they don't speak to each other because they were talking about their politics, and all of a sudden one was for Trump and one was for Hillary, and they don't speak to each other anymore. And I'm going, what the hell? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
have an opinion. Everybody's got an asshole. Everybody's got an opinion.
I'm looking at this guy. I'm looking at this guy on a professional level, and on a professional level, he's taking good care of me. He's going to look at me every 6 months, watchful waiting, and all of that, and he's on the case. And so
let that stuff get in between you. It's ridiculous.
I know I'm never going to die from this thing because I've got a guy watching out for me. But I'm getting sick of people drawing blood on me. But it's.
But when you got people up on the higher ups standing up on TV, making that decisive, those decisive kind of statements, it just entices it.
Today I was watching TV and I was coming to the slow decision about something that and Rob, I don't know whether you agree with this or not, since you've been in the media, but I'm getting worried that the media is getting to be too anti-Trump.
The same thing. I'm thinking the same thing. It seems to me that the Democrats are getting holier than thou.
Well, but it's like I turn on TV and especially with this whole thing with the kids, being taken away from their parents, they are flacking it so hard. It seems like they're flacking it in a direction where they're also trying, as a byproduct, to get Trump.
They got nothing else.
Well, let me finish, Phil. Come on, I'm not on your side, but I'm close to it on this topic. What I'm saying is that they could do too much overkill on this and screw up the elections in the fall, because a lot of people will be turned off by this idea. Does this make sense?
That might be what Trump's playing.
I think it's human nature.
Why?
I think because they're being attacked by Trump so much, fake news, fake media, and all that. I think when you're being attacked, you attack back, right?
Well, and then he could be playing that as well. He could be playing that.
Yeah. Yes, Patrick.
Last night or the night before on CNN, my state senator, one of the two, was interviewed and was asked about the immigration thing. Mm-hmm. And her name is Tammy Baldwin, and she's about as dim of a light bulb as you can get, and she proved it during this interview. The interviewer, a female, I don't know who it was, asked her, so everybody is having a problem with what's going on with the immigration thing, and blah, 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 blah. And she said, and in 2014, there was a similar incident under President Obama.
Yeah.
Did you speak up then? And all she did was go round and round about, well, we should focus on what's happening now. And she never answered the question directly. She kept going after what was happening now. and the reporter or the interviewer asked her a second time, that something like, okay, but did you speak up about it when it was under President Obama? And she wouldn't answer the question. She kept spinning around.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that's necessarily a fair question, because what was going on under Obama had a slightly different nature to it. It wasn't the same kind of situation.
Yeah, but it's a simple question, yes or no. Did you speak up against it or not?
He built the cages.
He built the cages, but not for kids, Phil.
Well,
they were built to take care of the migrant overflow, but not to put little kids in there and give them Mylar blankets to keep warm. Plus the fact that forget anything Obama did. Obama could have raped these babies and it wouldn't matter. What matters is that Trump has done nothing about it, and he owns it now. Okay? And what went on in the last couple of weeks with these kids, and these kids being separated from their parents, was a product of his behavior and of his administration and of his doing. So no, don't go back and do what about Obama. No, what about Trump? He could have done, and he did it finally with a sweep of a pen, reverse this whole thing. But he didn't want to do that.
But he wanted it to be permanent. He wanted the Congress to do their job and make legislation that he would sign and take care of it. The Congress
he was using that, Phil. He was using that as an excuse for not doing anything, Phil.
This guy, he lit the fire. He lit the fire. He poured gas on it, and then they threw water on it.
Right.
Yeah. They, instead of doing their job and getting to the bottom of this issue and doing something about the borders.
What is the issue, Phil? What is the issue? Come on, tell me what the issue is.
The issue is that our borders are porous, and we need to enforce the laws.
They're less porous in the last 5 or 10 years than they were before that.
It's getting worse.
We always used to talk about Mexicans coming over here as wetbacks. You know?
Well, maybe you did, but I have a lot of Mexicans that work for me, and they're here illegally. They have their proper papers, and whether it's a green card or citizenship and a Social Security card and a legitimate I-9, and they work hard.
How do you know they're legitimate?
They're here legally.
Yes, Tom.
And there were bills that the Congress attempted to pass during both Bush and Obama that would give these people a path to citizenship, and the extreme right of the Republican Party just blocked them in every case.
Pissed all over them.
They may be blocking them now. They may be blocking them now.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. They're still blocking.
Hold on a second, Phil. Hold on a second. There are a couple of other people here who want to talk. Tom was talking, and Rob was starting to talk.
What I was going to say is the far right is blocking this, and Trump keeps saying the Democrats are blocking it.
Well, I don't know. I hadn't looked at the vote to know who is blocking the last couple of bills that came up. And I think it's both of them. I think that the Congress
who's in the majority?
Yeah, who's running?
Majority by a few votes. I believe that the Congress is not doing their job.
In Congress, in the House of Representatives, Phil, take a breather. In the House of Representatives, there is more than just a couple of votes difference. Okay, it's a couple of votes difference in the Senate. I think maybe it's 1 or 2, but it's not. But it's more than that in the Congress. Okay, in the House of Representatives. So, anyway.
And this shit was going on when the Democrats were in charge of the House, and the Republicans were shooting everything down before. They were sitting over on the other side of the aisle shooting everything down before. So, well, tit for tat now. It's going the other way.
When they want their
that's the problem with all the politics.
It's
now.
Tit for tat, and they want their tat back.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think it's time that these guys started doing something. But the point I'm trying to make here was that the news has been so overbearing about this situation and using every opportunity to make Trump look bad, that I don't think that's sitting well with the voting population. That's the problem.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I don't mind the passion involved in all of this. I think what went on with these kids is irreprehensible, and I think Trump should be taken to the woodshed for it. But the manner in which they're doing it may turn off the voting population. First hand up was Patrick's and then Tom. Yes.
No, Tom's up first.
Oh, he's up first? Oh, you're so polite. Yes.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Patrick. I just want to mention I thoroughly disagree. I think if anything, the media has been too nice to Trump. That's the problem. If anybody's making problems for Trump, it's himself. He's a disaster of his own making. And I mean, I'll tell you, I was listening earlier to Marketplace, and not a particularly liberal broadcast, but it was just like one thing after another. How Trump is screwing up on trade, he's screwing up on our relationships with our allies. It's just like, what are you going to do? You're the media. You have to report what's going on. And the fact is that Trump is a total disaster. I mean, even George Will tonight came out and said that we should be voting Democrat. We should be putting the Democrats in charge of Congress next year. So it's such a disaster.
Patrick.
I
agree.
Like you were saying, Alex, because
Yes.
I've got like my folks and other family members who are dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. They've mentioned the same sort of thing. At what point is the news going to report anything decent about Trump? And my stepdad in particular has had it up to his neck with immigration issues. And he said, why is it okay that countries like Canada or Spain or other countries can have stringent rules on getting in, but we have to allow every fucking body in the world through, and then if we don't, we're the bad guy. And I said, you know what? You make a great point. And I told him about Canada's rule. If you have a DUI, you can't go up there.
Right.
So, you can come in this country with pretty much anything, but you can't go to Canada because you screwed up once and you drank and you drove.
Okay.
So
on the phone, we've been joined by somebody from the 650 area code. Are you there?
Yeah, Alex. How you doing?
Who is this?
This is Seraphin.
What's your name again?
Seraphin?
Seraphin. Wow, what a nice name.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have something you want to add to this?
No, I just thought it was about time to add a little chorizo to the group collection of kielbasa that I hear most of the time. So I just kind of fly on the wall to listen to what's going on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, welcome to welcome. What is that? My phone is. Somebody's ringing my phone. It's a Skype video, and somebody's trying to call, but it's not this number. Oh, well, let me just. How do I turn this thing off so that it doesn't go? Wait a minute. Let me see who it is. Wait a minute. Hello? Jeff? You're not calling us on the normal way. I got this on my phone. Huh?
He's calling an old.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, that's strange. Seraphin, anytime you want to jump in, just to say Seraphin, and then we'll know you want to say something. Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you, Alex.
Because we can't see you. Phil, do you have anything to add to this now? I just wanted to give everybody else a chance to get their 2 cents worth in, because you become very active sometimes on this topic.
Well, I'm the other side, but I had to turn my fan off before I activated the mic.
I turn all my fans off, so don't worry about it. They have nothing to do with me anymore.
What Patrick was saying,
Well, he goes to where he knows he won't get booed.
No, he's going to where he knows that he will get the votes that he needs. He did the same thing during the election.
No, but he doesn't fill the halls with people who are dissenters.
No, if you're a dissenter, you get thrown out. I saw that the other night. I think it was in Wisconsin or Minnesota.
He should learn how to deal with dissenters.
Well, he does. He throws them out.
No. Besides throwing them out.
Tell him to come to California.
Yeah.
You won't see him in California.
No, I don't blame him.
Yeah. Yes, Brian.
I'm just thinking loosely. Maybe because this is organized by private entities. These centers that Trump is holding, that he's throwing people out of. If there was an act executed or implemented by some judge or something indicating that as the logic applies to his Twitter, that he cannot ban people from or block people from his Twitter following, since he is the POTUS or SCROTUS, so too should he not be allowed to throw people out at these centers, so that he would be forced to have to hear these dissenting voices out.
No, but
by law.
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because past presidents, when this has happened, I know that I saw Obama did this on one occasion, and I know that Clinton did this on several occasions. When there was some dissenter in the audience and people started booing the dissenter, they would say, no, he has a right to say what he says. And you know, it was like almost that wonderful moment with John McCain and that woman who called Barack Obama, an Arab or a Muslim. And
I got coworkers or a student who
and McCain in the middle of this very heated election said, "Ma'am, I'm running against the man because I disagree with him, but he happens to be a fine gentleman." Well, you never hear that from Donald Trump. So why should we afford Donald Trump the same thing?
Well, when these functions, just like Brian said, they may be private, and even though I don't think anybody pays to go to them, but he's I don't think he's out of range when he throws people out that are disturbing the message that he's trying to work with his supporters.
I mean, work the room with this propaganda and bullshit translation.
You avoided my
probably pays half the people that stand behind him.
You avoided my point, though, Phil. Is that you want us to afford him the same respect that he does not afford other people. In other words, the way he talks about Barack Obama, for example, is abominable. You don't do that. You do not go and talk about ex-presidents that way. You let their record stand for itself. You then build your own. And Obama, much to his credit, has pretty well kept his mouth shut in all of this because he believes that. Hold on a second, because he believes that an ex-president doesn't down the current president, okay, or his successor.
They just try to make sure that the DOJ and the FBI make sure that the guy doesn't become president.
Wait a minute. You're taking us off topic. Phil, you're taking us off topic, and you didn't make a point because you were making another point that had nothing to do with what we were saying.
Oh, you were saying that he doesn't afford.
I'm saying that he should afford Obama the respect of having been an ex-president, But instead, all he does is always go after him and belittle
and
him.
It's not just Obama; it's all the ex-presidents.
Yeah, he does.
He talks shit about everybody.
Yeah,
he was elected to clear the swamp. They are the swamp.
He talks about everybody. He talks about Bush. He talks about everybody. He's God.
Let me ask you this question, Phil. How in the God's name is Barack Obama part of that swamp?
That's right. And how is Bush a part of that swamp? How is Clinton? I mean,
I'll tell you.
Talking about
no, wait a minute. Bush wasn't part of the swamp either.
Years.
Wasn't part of the swamp.
Everybody before him is a piece of shit.
Now, what do you want to when you talk about people like what's his name? His ex-lawyer, who's in trouble now, Cohn. What about Manafort? What about people like that? I mean, he brought the swamp with him.
This is all, if you're going to live in a swamp, these people are all in trouble because, and he brought them along. You are around, the people you associate with, guilt by association. You ever heard that term, Phil?
Yeah, and it's not true. It's not fair. You can't make somebody guilty by association. If you did,
it smells like shit and it looks like shit, chances are it's shit.
Well, can I answer the question why?
I'm sure you will.
Okay. He believes that Obama used a number of underhanded things. He believes that Hillary is crooked.
No. These are wait a minute. Hold on a second.
What did Bush do?
Bush killed our banking system.
Now wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay, what did the president before that do?
Pardon me?
We're going to go back 40 years, and I want you to tell me what each president did that's wrong, that they did wrong. So because he's telling us that every fucking president before him did something wrong, he's cleaning up all their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me which one. Each one of those did wrong, because Trump is going to fix all that shit right now, and that's the reason that he's here.
Yeah.
Because every time he comes up and tells us what he's fixing, it's somebody else's shit. And that's great. I'm glad he's fixing all this shit.
He's fixing the borders. He's fixing the issues that the Congress is a do-nothing Congress.
He can't fix Congress.
No, but Phil.
The government's been running for how many years? Fine, and all of a sudden he's fixing everything.
No,
he can't fix Congress.
Both of you. Wait a minute. The Congress has had a 13% approval rating for the last 25 years. Are you telling me they're doing everything fine? What are you, living in a dream world?
No, I said it's been running. I'm not saying it's been fine, but it's been running.
They've been raping us.
Phil, he cannot fix the Congress.
No.
He has no jurisdiction over Congress.
He can
the president
do anything. You're believing all of his bravado.
He can call them out on their bullshit. And that's
you want to know something? What he can do if he's a good businessman is he can corral them and sit them down and try and with amiability and with goodwill try to get them to all come to the same place. But instead, he's driving everybody apart.
No. He offered both Democrats and Republicans just yesterday or the day before on this new bill that the first one got shot down. He said, "Come on to the White House."
After he called them all a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, they are.
And they are. And we went to
exactly
went to him with a bipartisan bill. I don't even remember what it was about now, and he wouldn't sign it.
Must have been something in there.
Come to me, you pieces of shit.
You say it's bipartisan, but there might have been something in there that
he said he would sign a bipartisan bill. I don't remember what it was about, quite frankly. I don't know.
Well, then it's a non-starter.
It's not a non-starter.
Well, let's take it.
You would freaked out over it.
Let's take it a step further. I mean, all that he's doing right now is simply trying to hold up Congress to give him money to build that stupid fucking wall.
He also wants a number of other things. He wants merit immigration. He wants to break the chain immigration. There's a number of things.
He's xenophobic. He hates people from other countries.
That's not true.
Come on, he's got a history of not renting his apartment.
Yes, he has a history of not renting his apartments to black people.
His father did.
No, he did it. He did it. He did it. He did it as well, Phil.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. Now I just lost my train of thought. When you brought
but now you're going to tell me Obama didn't rent the blacks either.
No, he didn't. Yeah. He didn't have any rental.
No whites.
But look, our friend Mr. Trump is doing what he said he was going to do for the people that elected him, and you don't.
Okay.
You don't.
Well, what about
this.
the people who didn't elect him, which was a $3 million person majority?
I'll tell you what the story is.
Huh?
I'll tell you what the story is. What the Democrats want is they want to flood our. You see, they're losing the black vote. Unless they get 90% of the black vote, they can't move. It doesn't move the needle. So they're thinking that the biggest group of people that they can make citizens are the Latino people. So therefore, if they can make them citizens and they'll vote Democratic, that will keep them in office.
We've been joined by Ray Renati. Ray,
hello.
Get your 2 cents worth in here.
Well, I decided that I'm going to use this as an exercise to learn to control my emotions.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, because I need to learn how to do that.
Serenity now. Serenity
now, George. Serenity now, Jerry. Serenity now.
You picked a hell of a venue to do that. I'll say that much.
And Phil and I had a good conversation today, so I don't want to screw that up.
Yeah.
Even though I don't agree with one thing he said.
What do you mean you had a good discussion?
Well, we were talking about cameras and shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yes, I mean, that's nice. That puts you all in a nice, warm, fuzzy place, you know.
We would think with Alex, with your ability with photography and so forth, we would think that you'd be more into talking about it too. Plus, what you're doing with your friends' pictures and life's work, you know, we thought that you'd be a little bit more into it. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A full house.
Full house, yes.
All right.
Is the counter of the full house. We've been joined by Jack Bishop, who has a show called The Intersection.
Well, I have to say, I saw
he's frozen.
Melania's jacket for the first time.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that it was like a poster on the back of that. I thought it maybe said it was little letters. No way.
Somebody said it was probably meant to be Trump's teleprompter.
No, I think it was meant. If she wore it a couple of weeks before this children thing, it would have made the statement I think she wanted it to make, which was, you know, she doesn't care about what is being said about her. But you know, it was just bad timing.
Don't try to explain. It was a bad idea. It was
like everything else. She timed it just the way she wanted.
Wait a minute. Before I go to you, Jack, because you have your hand up. Patrick had his hand up first.
I still don't see the big fucking deal with that jacket. I mean, it said that, but anybody with half a brain would realize she wouldn't be going to a place like she did in Texas, intentionally wearing something like that would say something to insult people.
Well, that's because she doesn't have half a brain.
She into shit too much.
I would say you're right, Patrick, but anybody with half a brain would know that she's a model, she's the first lady, and she did it on purpose.
Imagine Jackie O doing that.
Yeah.
Imagine
she knows what she did.
If Michelle Obama did it, we would have never heard the end of it. And let me also...
I thought two different ways, just like you did. I thought, she just wore it. But then I thought, no, she's a first lady. She's a model. She's looked at for her clothing. And
let's take a... Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's take one at a time, because Jack's next. He's got his hand up. The one thing about this is, where was the person on her staff who saw this big sign on her back, who didn't go up to her and say, we can't wear that. Here, I'll go get you something else. You can't wear that. Yes, Jack.
Hey, one of the reporters that travels with
your mic has the same problem it had last night.
It's worse.
You're kidding.
Can't hear you.
Just turn it up.
All right, I just turned it up. There.
That's better.
Now it's all staticky.
Now it's staticky.
Staticky?
Yeah.
Oh, well, forget it. I won't even do a show tonight.
You know, I have a mixer and one of the channels went out. Maybe you should switch the mic to a different channel and see if you just got a bad channel.
Well, I'll try that. Can you hear me now, as they say on the TV?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
On the jacket business, one of the reporters that travels with the First Lady said, this woman does not wear something without putting a great deal of thought into it. You know, she doesn't pick her clothes like I do, where I see, you know, what's the least dirty shirt I have for the day.
Yeah.
And to my dear friend, Mr. Meyer, do you really believe that black folk are coming to Trump? If you do, I got some beachfront property to sell you in Nevada.
I believe that.
By the way, as an insult to your blackness, Jack,
No,
he's
the one
wearing
thing I believe
his
about
minstrel glove.
Is that they don't get out and vote.
We get out and vote.
You need 90%. You need 90% just to get enough votes to turn the clock a little.
And we get out and vote when we feel that there are people that will be doing things that are in our interests.
You voted for Obama.
Yeah. And we voted for
didn't vote for anyone else.
Okay.
We voted for Clinton.
Brian's got his hand up.
So I had my hand up, and I wanted to make a statement about first ladies. Look, you said Jackie O. Jackie O made a statement, which was, you can never be too thin or too rich. Now, if you translate that into 2018, what that means is she was fat-shaming people, and she was talking down to those that didn't have as much money as her.
And so did Donald Trump when he fired a Miss Universe because she had gotten too fat.
Right. That's fine. I understand that. But what I'm saying is you got a first lady that you held up on a pedestal, and I'm saying that she made a statement that said you could never be too thin or too rich. What do you think?
Well, we held her up on a pedestal so we could look up her dress. Okay.
It didn't matter back then. Times were different. There was songs out there. What's that Frank Sinatra song about you better take care of yourself for your man because he's out at work all day? And what's the name of that Sinatra song?
Sinatra, it's Jack Jones, and the song was called Wives and Lovers.
Wives and Lovers. So that's, you know, a very different time.
Translate that statement to 2018 and tell me.
Okay, but in 2018, she's wearing this jacket that has something on the back that is in bad taste, and somebody on her team should have said, "I would not wear that."
Well, I agree with that, but it was a good-looking jacket.
Could it be that the people on her team are just doofuses like she is?
Well, could it be the people on her team don't like her and just let her wear it?
Yeah,
well,
that's what I believe.
Somebody sabotaged her with a plagiaristic statement during the not the inauguration, but during the Republican convention when Trump got nominated.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there might be some people lurking in the midst.
Well, I certainly want to say my hat's off to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Somebody had his hand up. Was it?
Brian.
Well, Brian.
I was just going to say, part of what I'm going to say is kind of regurgitating what Phil and Jack were bantering about. But first I want to say, non sequitur wise, all Phil needs in addition to those white gloves, maybe a hat and a cane and blackface. Yeah, Mr. Joel imitator. But nevertheless, the other stuff I had to bring up was having looked at the jacket now, whereas yet last night I just was made aware of it on your show, Alex. But over the course of today, having listened and watched an article on YouTube concerning this issue and seen the jacket, I still am not convinced that Melania herself isn't sabotaging her husband and the administration at large, but also that the remark you just made earlier, Alex, concerning her handlers, who may or may not be telling her you shouldn't wear this. Well, maybe the handlers themselves aren't as intelligent as we want to believe they are, because, you know, if these handlers are the same handlers that are working with Donald Trump, I mean, look at all the gaffes and goofs he's made throughout the course of his administrative career.
Ray Renati.
Yeah, I think there's something to that, Brian, possibly. And also, I want to say that the person who said you could never be too thin or too rich was a woman named Wallace Simpson, okay? And she was from Summit, Pennsylvania.
And she was.
And that statement has been attributed to Jackie O because she epitomized being thin and rich. But she didn't say it.
But she was also the wife of the king who stepped down to marry her.
Yes, Duchess of Windsor.
She was the Duchess of Windsor, yeah.
And it wasn't Jackie O who said it. So I'm just tired of all this misinformation. I mean, why do we have to put up with this shit constantly? I mean, we get it from Trump. We get it from Phil, our own personal Trump. Yeah. And it's like it's going to give me a fucking heart attack.
Sheriffin.
Only if you let it.
Well, I'll take the strain for you, because when I got my work back and everything, my cholesterol is perfect, and I have no blood in my urine, and the only thing, my PSA numbers were up. But that's it. That's it. I'm in great shape, so let me get nervous.
Seraphin.
I can take it. Yes, Seraphin.
You're getting paid the big bucks.
Seraphin.
I want to stay on topic with you here. What you just mentioned, Alex.
Wait a minute. Talk into your phone. I can't hear you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was going to send you a. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay, I'm using a Bluetooth set here, so I'm going to just bump that. How about this?
That's fine.
Okay, now I can hear you as well. Hey, just staying on the topic of medicine, I've been hearing you talking about your neuropathy in your legs, and especially down your feet.
Well, not down my legs, just in my feet.
Yeah, I was going to send you a bottle of something my doctor's had me on for I don't know how many years because of my diabetes. It's called alpha-lipoic acid. It's a supplement, and it took my neuropathy completely away.
Really?
If I miss it for a week, it comes back, but you know it doesn't have all the side effects of Lyrica.
What is it? Is it like a? It's like it's over the counter, right? It's a drug. It's a what do you call it?
Yeah, it's a supplement. It's a supplement.
What's it called again?
Alpha-lipoic acid.
Alpha-lipoic. That's Lipoic, right?
IC. Acid.
Acid. Okay, let me look it up. All right.
Yeah, it's done really good for me. The only complication I've ever had from it is if you take too much, it constipates you. But otherwise, it's worked really well.
You know. Talk show host goes on acid.
I also, while I snuck in here, I also wanted to comment on something that Phil and Jack were both exchanging about black voters. Being a Latino myself, it's very interesting what's going on here with the Trump administration with regards to any possibility of getting any Latino votes whatsoever. It's funny that, at least as a Mexican American, I see the Mexican community here in California. They're kind of taking a back seat to a lot of stuff. They just shake their heads about what's going on, and I can see it when I watch the Spanish news on Univision or Telemundo. But so, it's a typical Mexican reaction that, hey, you're waiting to see what this troubled child is going to do because there's probably something mentally wrong with him, and you pity him more than you listen to him. But because there's Guatemalans and Nicaraguans and Hondurans and a lot of people from Central and South America who are really kicking it in the pants right now with regards to undocumented immigration, they also laugh quite a bit about that because they know what's drawing them here. And the funny thing, I can't find anything on the English press, in terms of here in the U.S., nor in the Mexican press or in the Latin American press, that tells me how much some of these companies that have drawn these undocumented workers are getting fined. For instance, they just captured 146 illegal immigrants in Ohio. Nobody ever mentions how much the government is fining the workplace, for having brought these people in. And I bet it's a pittance because, we're covered by laws of immigration, but they're so unbalanced that the great big sucking sound coming from the U.S. for both drugs and undocumented workers is extremely loud, and there's no justice. There's just the law.
Seraphin, let me ask you this, since you're a Latino. What is, with all the trouble getting into this country and the knowledge of what's going on trying to get into this country, why are they still trying? What is the lure?
Well, I think Jack has his hands up because he'll probably be able to tell you too, being that he's in Texas.
Yeah.
It's the jobs. They don't go away. They continuously, the companies will send coyotes down into Latin America, at least to the border, because everybody's coming to the border who's coming from South America and Central America on the death train.
Yes.
And they'll round them up there and take them to wherever they want to in the U.S. because they have the means to do it.
By the way, there's a very good documentary out there, if nobody's ever seen it, about the death train. The amount of people that start off in South America, in Guatemala and Honduras, places like that, and the amount that eventually get here is far less. Okay. Yes. What's his name? Our host from this other show that the intro section.
You know what Seraphin just said is so very, very true. My wife worked for a company about 20 years ago that had a huge Latin population in the plant. And they found out that one of the managers of the company was going down to the border on a regular basis, like every few weeks, and recruit as they came across.
Yeah, we've got some kind of problem with your signal. I don't know what it is. You keep fading in and out. Now we can't even hear you, Jack.
I hear them inside my headsets.
Yeah, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're low.
Yeah, there's something
too low.
The other night when this happened, there was something you had your hand on or something that was.
Oh. If I bring my level up anymore,
Jack.
I get feedback.
No.
Sounds like you're crossing over to the other side.
I hope so. I'm so tired of this life.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Alex, this is Seraphin again. Just to comment on what Jack just said about, the whole situation with workers. The jobs are really big in Texas, so that still draws a lot of people to work. But the biggest irony I see is this has been going on for a long time. And the most ironic situation was when Cesar Chavez had the boycott going for the UFW, and the Teamsters went down to the border and got a bunch of illegal aliens to come and help break the strike. So that's how old it is, and that's how stupid it is, and that's how our laws don't really cover, the out of control capitalism that we have in this country. You got H-1B visas, you've got undocumented immigrants. I kick it in the pants every time they get an H-1B visa. They're paid 30% less than I am in technology. It's just ridiculous.
Phil's got his hand up.
That's the only thing Trump has. Hey, Phil, that's the only thing Trump has done right. Control the H-1B visas.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
No.
What do you think of E-Verify?
Well,
Trump
I'll tell you what.
E-Verify.
I don't mind E-Verify. I think anybody who gets asylum in this country and is documented and is able-bodied to work and seeks work should get it. And if they have the proper documentation, E-Verify and I-9s are perfectly fine. But I'll tell you what, Phil, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that a citizen like me, born and raised in Mountain View, California, okay, has to deal with the I-9 and get it done within 3 days of hiring on. I mean, it's ridiculous what the government is asking.
I'm an employer. Everybody fills out an I-9 that's going for a W-2.
Yeah, but 3 days, Phil. It doesn't. 3 days, Phil. It doesn't take that long. They don't ask you that long to go get a driver's license. Okay, it's like the most inconvenient process there is.
When I have them fill out an I-9, I only have to put it in their file. I don't have to do anything with it.
Well, you know what, Phil? I'll tell you what. I admire you quite a bit on this show. I really like what you do. I know last summer when Trump was running and everything, and Alex asked you about your loyalties and stuff, you were a little mixed. But you know what? You are really loyal. You're from a different model, a model that I saw in my father, and I respect that. And I thank you for your contribution to the show. Okay, I've been wanting to say that for a long time.
Thanks.
By the way, good looking hat, Ray.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's from France.
Congress would not put E-Verify into this last bill.
What is E-Verify? Will you explain that to me?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. If you were an employer, you would be required, if you were using E-Verify, to put the person's information in this system, and they would tell you whether or not they were legitimate, good to be hired.
Yeah, we couldn't hire until we got cleared from E-Verify.
Right. But, so he wants to make it mandatory and the Congress doesn't.
I thought it was mandatory.
Okay.
Well, our company made it mandatory.
Jack Bishop has his hand up. Yes, Jack. We can't hear you, Jack.
On mute.
There.
Okay.
E-Verify has been the rule of law for over 20 years.
It's not used.
Well, hey, these companies are supposed to be fined, as someone said, if they don't use it. How come we don't get on the asses of the people that are hiring these folks? Why? Because they're guys like you, Phil, who stand behind Trump and who rubber stamp his policies.
Trump wants E-Verify made the law of the land.
It is the law of the land.
No, it's not.
So shall it be. Yes. Huzzah.
You don't have to use E-Verify as an employer. Now, I'm a small employer, less than 50 employees, and I'm not required to use E-Verify.
Are you fined if you don't?
No.
Then that's the problem.
See, we were not allowed to hire until that E-Verify was cleared.
How many employees?
20,000.
All right.
Okay. Patrick has his hand up.
I just want to say, with regard to what Jack just said, it's guys like Phil that are behind Trump. Actually, it goes way before that with employers who are ignoring it. I think it has nothing to do with Trump per se. They've been doing that shit. It's been the law for 20 years. Companies have been skirting that law for 20 years because they can. And it's the same with anything else that's illegal. If people can find a loophole, they will. And these companies should be slapped down, and they should be fined. I mean, if you're hiring illegal, you should be fined. I mean, it's that period. And it had nothing to do with Trump or Bush or Obama. It's the companies themselves. And it had nothing to do with the backers of the president. It has to do with the idiots that run the companies. And they're, I guess you could say, their immoral viewpoint of the law.
Alex, this is Seraphin.
Yes, Seraphin.
Hey, Patrick, amen. I understand what Phil's saying, and there's a sentiment that Trump has that I can't fault him for, which is it's more of a show. I don't know if he really believes it. I don't think he does, but he values the American worker, and that goes for anybody who's a Native American, who's natively born in America or has immigrated, legally to the U.S., and he wants to save American jobs. So I understand where E-Verify will save American jobs from undocumented workers. But I would also love to remind Phil that, hey, if Donald Trump gets his way in the E-Verify, I would also like to see him create something that says whenever the U.S. allows visas to be used to bring in workers, that there is ironclad proof that they're not coming in to take American jobs at lower wages, because that's the loophole in H-1B visas, and nobody calls them on it. Trump is the only one who's done that.
Well, here's my question. Let me jump in here, since I am the host of the show. My question is, why is it that we're making the illegal immigrants the bad guys when in fact all they're trying to do is survive, when the real bad guys are the people that hire them? If there aren't jobs in this country for them, they wouldn't be streaming over the border. And what we do is we put fines on these people, but they're so small that they're willing to take the risk. We've got to really thump them hard. You want to make Americans hire Americans, then make it so that it isn't financially feasible for them to hire illegal aliens.
The undocumented workers that are coming over, are any of them getting welfare and other benefits with either working in an undocumented status or not?
If they're working, if they're working and paying taxes, they're probably able to get certain services. Yes, but they go
back to their country of origin when they need medical attention, because they all come from countries with nationalized medicine, Phil. So, I heard SG say last night that they're learning hygiene for the first time in these detention centers. That's a bunch of crap. They're in better health than we are because they have nationalized medicine and they get regular health care.
Ray's got his hand up. Ray's got his hand up.
I just want to say I agree with Alex 100%. I think that these people who come in here have courage and I hand it to them. And if they can get a job here, right on. You know what? It's like, just because your ass was born in the United States of America, why do you get privilege?
Wait a minute.
Why they live in some shithole country, right?
That's what the Constitution says.
I disagree with you.
Wait a second. Before 1950, we let everybody in. We let everybody in, no questions asked, unless they were sick
or Jewish. Ray, that's not true. We did not let everybody in.
We let a lot of people. My ancestor just came in on a boat. They didn't have any legal papers.
Hey, listen, yes, but that was not 19.
That was like 1905 or something.
Okay, yeah, but even then we didn't let everybody.
Well, no, let me explain something. There were several ways to get into this country at that time. One was to come in through the West Coast, which was much easier than coming through the East Coast. Like my grandfather came here first with one of his sons, Bolo, and set up shop and their home in San Francisco. Meanwhile, my father and his mother traveled, and they had to go, because I've seen the papers for it. They had to go to Ellis Island, where they were ported through Ellis Island, and then if they could prove that they had somebody to go stay with or whatever, they could then leave Ellis Island. The average stay at Ellis Island was a couple of days, unless you were ill, in which case you could be there for months until you were well or better, or you might be turned around and sent back. However, if you had money and you were white, you could bypass Ellis Island and went straight to Manhattan. Okay? So they were only the poor and the foreigners, and Jews had to go through Ellis Island. Okay.
Also, we've got to remember we had an Asian Exclusion Act.
Yeah.
At that time.
As I say, we can barely hear you.
All right. I heard. All right. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you, but it's why you're not getting any volume out of there. You might hang up and just call right back on Skype, and maybe it's the Skype line.
All right, I'll try that.
Yeah, try it.
Hey, okay. Alex.
Yes.
Jack brought up a really good point there.
Yeah.
With regards to like the Asian Exclusion Act and other such things, and your points were very valid in terms of how we've done selective immigration over the years.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I don't think anybody's considered the damage to Latin America that have happened over the years. All those Cubans in South Florida that the Republicans managed to draft because of their anti-Cuban communism and anti-Castro stance. Phil, I'm talking to you about this. They definitely padded their roles for voters by brainwashing all those, South Florida Cubans. And those people are the pariahs of Latin America. They turned their backs on their own country and made life miserable for millions of Cubans because of their selfishness. They were bitter from having all their wealth taken away when Batista bit the dirt. It continues today. You guys don't think about it, but all the Salvadorans, all the Nicaraguans, anybody who's coming up from South America or Central America through Mexico is doing their share of damage to Mexico. Right. I've had my family down there victimized in terms of gypsy cabs that run over people and crash, and they have no insurance. They just flee. The Mexican government and Mexico's economy is taking a hit, basically sheltering all these undocumented workers trying to get into the U.S. while they're in Mexico. And the U.S. doesn't think of that. When Trump says Mexico does nothing for us, it's a bunch of crap.
Seraphin, I think the reason the Cuban vote was so pro-Republican was because they were majority Catholic, and and it was an abortion issue, and they believed in family.
Phil, I had Cuban babysitters where I grew up in Mountain View. They only came here to get welfare and Social Security and have the easy life they had with Batista because they lost all their wealth. So don't tell me about what I know personally. The Cubans are a bunch of selfish fucks down in South Florida. Everybody else hates
South Florida.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We got Jack here, and Jack is in Texas. I think he knows a little bit about this.
I was in Florida and in Miami, and I knew many Cubans that came over after Batista and before Batista, and I can tell you they were the hardest working families that you could imagine.
So that's what you got out of your. That's what you got out of your vacation.
To their people, right, Phil? And they were a credit to their people, right? That's what you guys always say. Look, the Cuban situation is unique. It is unique in that the people that came from Cuba came after the revolution. They were the landed aristocracy who was getting their ass booted anyway. They weren't the poor and hungry masses. You know, we had this policy, which we never talk about the one dry foot rule. If you're from Cuba and you get to a point where you got one dry foot on U.S. soil, we let you in.
That's
no
true.
other group has that.
Because they were truly running from oppression.
No, they weren't running away from oppression. They were the oppressors, Phil. They were the in Cuba, to the Cuban people, they were the oppressors.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, of course you don't know about that.
Kicked him out.
Castro kicked him out. He wanted to kill him. These
Well,
people, were being jailed.
Why do you think the Cuban people, as you call them, why do you think they backed Castro? Because he offered them a better deal than Batista.
No, because he was going to kill him.
Oh, hell no.
You know,
Phil,
you talk about the Cubans that came over. That was Jimmy Carter allowing Fidel Castro to empty his jails and send his best.
Nobody allowed him to do it. He unloaded people from his jails. Very smart move. Put them on boats, and the Mariel boat lift, in case you remember the name or don't remember the name.
I remember it.
And it was a very smart idea on the part of Castro.
That was the president named Jimmy Carter.
No, we had a president named Ronald Reagan at that time, brother.
No.
All right.
No,
Check
he's
your
absolutely
history book.
correct.
Check
He's
your
absolutely
history
correct.
book.
It was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. It was
Carter.
Was it Carter? Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Policy at work.
Tom, who was
More
it?
shit to clean up.
Hold on a second. Tom?
It was Carter.
It was Carter. Okay.
It was Carter. You guys are so self-righteous. Thanks.
Did it not continue under Reagan for much longer?
Reagan was, the Muriel boat lift happened under Carter.
Okay, but what about
hey, I just wanted to let Phil know that I really like his passion over how he's talking about these Cuban refugees, because he's basically talking about their best in terms of they were running away from a bad deal of communism, and possibly they were going to get killed like the plantation owners in the South would have been killed if Fidel Castro would have come along at that time for the same crimes. But I'll also say, Phil, why can't you apply those feelings to the Salvadorans and Nicaraguans and Hondurans that are coming up? They're trying to escape revolution, civil war that's threatening communism on them.
And Seraphin, I'm happy if they escape, but they should escape to Mexico, which is the next country over, not the United States. They're coming here for welfare.
All right, Phil, how come guys like you who are business people
just like the Cubans
in building plants
the Cubans would die before they took welfare.
How come you're not putting your money into that country? It's a opportunity that business people like you should be stepping up to.
I employ many documented workers.
I'm talking about in Mexico. If you believe so much in what can be done, you say you are a business builder.
I am a small.
Hold on a second. Everybody, hold on a second. Ray Renati just put the best description of our discussion on the chat room here for the show, and it simply reads blah blah blah.
Hey Alex, this is Seraphin. I'll tell you one thing.
Yes, Seraphin.
Between all of us yelling, including Jack and stuff like that about the Cubans and all this stuff, it really comes down to being, as a Latin American, Mexican American here in California, in my home.
Yeah.
I've never felt so attacked as a Latino in my life. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a real backlash with Latinos come the midterm elections and come the next election with regards to Trump if he even makes it that far. We're very quiet, but when we rise up, it's si se puede time, and that's pretty severe. So the Democrats aren't going to recruit anybody that hasn't been recruited already out of Latin America, and the whole thing is. It's also a matter of the world economics. America loves cheap labor, and it fosters it anywhere in the world and in itself. So even Mexico can't get cheap enough labor. They go to the U.S. because basically they don't want peso. They want dollar.
Tom, did you put your hand up?
I scratched my head.
Oh, okay.
I'm scratching my head.
Seraphin, I don't agree. I think that the Latin vote is going to go widely for Trump.
Okay, all right.
Because
yeah.
They're going to be very similar to the early Cuban voters.
The Jewish vote in Germany gone for Hitler? Would the Jewish vote in Germany have gone for Hitler?
The Jews didn't get a vote for Hitler.
If they could have voted, would they have gone for Hitler?
I think I can solve that one. If Phil was over there, if Phil was over there, he would have voted for Hitler. Yes, Patrick.
I lost my train of thought as soon as Jack said that and Phil answered. I forgot what I was going to say. That was good.
The Trump youth.
Yes, Brian.
I was just thinking. Well, I've been thinking this for a number of months now. The only thing I've been starting to think as to what made Hitler an evil or bad guy was the fact that he persecuted and executed the wrong groups of people. If he'd have persecuted and executed yuppies, snake oil salesmen, Donald Trump-like people, I'd suck his cock. I'd dig him up out the grave.
Hey, Brian, that's the reason why I called you my child separated from me at birth. Statements like that.
No, I think
yuppies until Reagan.
I think Hitler. I think Hitler was cranky because he only had one testicle. I think that was the reason
I would be too.
Yeah.
I had only one.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
You know, there's one thing that I think Jack and I can agree on, which is there is something that plagues both our people in a real bad way, and this is probably where Phil is overestimating. Religion plays a big part.
Yes.
Pro-life, you know, all that stuff. Regardless of whether you're Catholic or whether you're Protestant, doesn't matter. Yeah. You know, I saw a lot of people when gay marriage laws and stuff were being voted on, standing on corners. They were religious groups from Latino churches with signs in both in English and Spanish, you know, basically supporting the vote against gay marriage. And it was totally religious. But I'll tell you, the majority of Latinos are Catholic. They are recent, you know, underdogs in the battle against the Catholic Church when it came down to pedophilia and other crimes they've done in underdeveloped countries. So they're not as Catholic as they used to be. Their eyes are very wide open, Phil. I wouldn't count on any of them voting for Trump.
Let's hope that's the case.
Let's hope they turn to atheism, too.
Because that's the big pass here. That's why all the religious right is so willing to forgive anything that Donald Trump says or does, is because they want these Christian values that they believe, most of them being hypocrites, or all of them being hypocrites, because everything Donald Trump stands for is anti everything that they stand for.
And Rob, that's the reason I hope they're right about a rapture, because I want them sons of bitches off my planet.
You know, and I just want to clarify one thing about the Cubans that came pre and post Batista, 59 and such. These people would sooner cut their hands off than take welfare. Bank presidents would scrub toilets before they would take welfare. It was, and you could go to their homes and they were spotless. And these are the kind of people that came over. These people were our friends, and Castro was not.
Yeah, okay, and yet many of them were murderers in their country. Many of them were going along with a horrible dictatorship under Batista. They were kissing Batista's ass. They were literally legitimizing the kind of genocide that went on in that country. And so when they came to this country, the fact that they wouldn't take welfare doesn't make them a better fucking person.
You know,
wait a minute. Jack had something to say.
And Phil, look, Castro initially turned to us in his revolution.
Yes.
And we gave him, fuck you. So he turned to another side to help.
And by the way, when he came to the United Nations, where did he have to stay?
Harlem.
In Harlem. Yes, Tom, and then Patrick. Yes, Tom.
And let us not forget, Castro could have been a pitcher for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Right?
You're right.
How much more American than that?
Yes, exactly. And Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that I think we're all forgetting is if Castro had actually approached Michael Corleone back when Michael was actually in Cuba, we could have avoided all of the problem because they could have put together a nice alliance and they could have had the mafia and the communists running things together.
Yeah.
And life would be great.
Ray.
Hey, Patrick. I'm sorry.
Michael Corleone is a fictional character, Patrick. You know that, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't want to fuck your. I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but you know.
But he said you could never be too thin or too rich.
Ray, this is Seraphin again.
Yes, Seraphin.
I just wanted to thank Patrick for bringing up something that I forgot about earlier, and that was, what could have been done to avoid Castro coming into power and Cuba changing as radically as it did. And basically, it's the chickens coming home to roost. That is the bottom line in Latin America. All the disruption of governments in Latin America that the CIA and the U.S. have perpetuated over the years to get whatever capitalistic, uphand that they wanted is coming home to roost. These people are running.
Well, look at what
behind by U.S. disruption.
Look at
what's Venezuela doing for you, Seraphin?
Well, why don't you?
Venezuela's the same story.
No, it's a communist country.
And it's probably going to do just great.
Yeah. When we overthrew what was his name? I'm trying to remember the country now.
In Chile,
Allende in Chile, who was basically, his only problem was he was a communist, but he was a democratic communist. And the United States couldn't stand the idea of seeing democratic communism working anywhere because that was an anathema to our way of life, right? And so they had Allende killed, and who did they replace him with? Pinochet. One of the worst dictators.
Noriega never saw the light of day because of all the CIA secrets he knew that disrupted Panama and put him in power.
Yeah. So, we've made a mess down there for, a long time.
We've been attacking those countries since after World War II.
Yes, Rob?
Talk about the Middle East, the same thing. We've made a mess of all of this.
But the weapons dealers and the drug dealers are making out like bandits. And they're all here in the U.S.
You're right.
Put governments in, we go in and we put our own, we back bad guys because we want our own way in certain areas, and so we've done it in Latin America, we've done it in the Middle East.
Remember Oliver North and all that?
Yeah.
How about Donald Trump? He doesn't want to be there. How come you don't back him now?
I do. I'm a Trumpster.
Yeah, I'm all for Trump. Yay, fucking Trump. Hey, listen, that's our theme. That's our theme that is playing. We must thank our panel tonight. First of all, the lovely and attractive Phil Meyer, who has convinced me that Trump is wonderful. Rob Alfano, who's a fucking left-winger. Of course, there's Kevin. Well, who can fight with Santa Claus? Okay, even though I ate reindeer meat in Norway. Seraphin, thank you for calling. Please call again. You were terrific.
Yes. I've been listening to you for 30 years. I don't think I've forgotten a show since you started my life mentoring.
Okay, well,
just out of high school.
Will you call us more, please?
Yes.
Please.
If you don't hang up on me for making a request like you did the first time.
No.
That was a camel.
That was a camel, yeah. And I said, I got to listen to this guy. There's something about him.
Yeah.
You know why he couldn't take requests?
Because Phil was the producer.
Yeah.
Only for a short time, but...
Hey, we're running out of time here, Phil. Okay. Tom Yamaguchi, thank you for joining us. Patrick Blazik, of course, Brian.
Getting hung up on by Alex Bennett is a badge of honor.
Yes, and of course, Ray Renati. We always enjoy having you here. Would all you guys please give a big wave goodbye to that fine audience out there, all right? There they are. Oh, they're so cute, aren't they? Okay, that's our citizen panel for tonight, and that's our program for tonight. Next is Jack Bishop. Hopefully he'll have his Skype working just really fine, and that will be followed at 1 o'clock in the morning by Connections. We'll be back here right after Damian Chaplin and the Exchange on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, same time, same station in life, and in the meantime, if you see her, please tell her I love her, okay? Bye.